Stop teaching your kids being safe online with old school methods, where you, but not your kid, are so comfortable with. Communicate in your kid's way and make them in a natural way aware of the dangers. Nothing will change unless you do something about it. Many parents have had success with this successful 4-phase method. You don't need to figure it all out yourself and be alone. Some facts: sexting. 20% of the teenagers did sent or posted nude or semi-nude pictures or video of themselves. Also, 11% of young teen girls ages 13 to 16 did send or posted semi-nude pictures or videos. 39% of all teenagers are sending or posting sexually suggestive messages. If a teenager sent or posted semi-nude images of themselves, 15% of them say they have done so to someone they only knew online. 48% of teenagers received such messages. 71% of teen girls and 67% of teen guys who have sent or posted sexually suggestive content say sent or posted this content to a boyfriend or girlfriend. 44% of both teen girls and teen boys say it is common for sexually suggestive text messages to get shared with people other than the intended recipient. It is common for 36% of teen girls and 39% of teen boys that semi-nude photos are shared with people other than the intended recipient. 51% of teen girls say pressure from a boyfriend as a reason girls send sexy messages or images. Only 18% of teen boys cited pressure from female counterparts as a reason. The most common reason for sending sexy content, say 66% of teen girls and 60% of teen boys, they did so to be fun or flirtatious. The stats of sexting above as one threat, but what do you think of dangers as cyberbullying, cyber predators, grooming, IDENTY, theft, porn, dark web? These are maybe bigger threats. What do you think about self-harm, suicide, mental health? 55% of tweens and 67% of teens engaged in conversations about depression. Drugs, alcohol. 76% of tweens and 85% of teens engaged in conversations surrounding drugs, alcohol. Teens use internet for everyday activities like keeping in touch with friends on social media, relaxing and doing schoolwork. They are online to look for support for physical or mental health problems and experiment with different ways of expressing themselves. Because they're online so much without your supervision, teenagers need to be able to identify acceptable and unacceptable online content independently. They also need to know how to behave respectfully online and avoid online risks. Do you know what they're doing when they're online? On the other hand, don't you feel day to day that you haven't enough time to work out with kids and career? Don't you know how to find the right supervision balance? Privacy is a crucial issue for many children and teenagers. There is a balance that needs to be considered, especially as the child grows older. Teenagers are caught in a frenzy of needing independence while still depending on their parents for support and guidance. Not enough supervision can be detrimental. Too much supervision can be devastating. Actually, you need help to make sure that you did everything to keep your teen safe, just as you did into real life. Building a strong relationship with your teen is a challenging endeavor even under perfect conditions, and changing the way you both normally do is even more difficult. Although most parents wouldn't dream of leaving their child in a room full of strangers with the door shut, that's the equivalent of what happens when children and teens have unfettered access to the internet. Cyberbullying and cyber predators rank among the greatest concerns when allowing children to get online. 90% of teens on social media have ignored bullying if they've seen it, and 1/3 have been victims themselves. Children can be mocked in social media exchanges or on games. Their characters can be attacked. New Jersey residents were shocked in September 2018 when law enforcement in Operation codenamed Operation Open House arrested 24 men accused of attempting to groom children for sex using mobile apps. Among the apps used were Kick, Scout, Whisper and Grindr. Implications of excessive gaming may result in harmful effects on children's education and well-being. Interference with studies, one of the signs of gaming addiction. If schoolwork is suffering, including boredom in lessons, difficulty concentrating or low motivation to complete homework, then their gaming habits should be assessed. Exposure to violent, graphic or sexualized content. Ofcom found that increasing numbers of parents are concerned about the content of games they play. This includes 25% of parents of 3 to 4-year-old gamers, compared to 10% in 2017. Games with violent, sexualized or highly realistic content, including augmented reality and virtual reality games, can also have an emotional impact on children, especially the younger kids. It's a controversial area with conflicting research, but a study from Science Daily has linked violent video games to aggression in young people. The dangers on the other side of the computer. There are strangers ready to pounce on their next victim. Your child is your responsibility, so you owe it to them and yourself to make sure the online environment around them is safe. Predators will do everything possible to remove that trust away from you and steer it toward them. With monitoring, you'll be able to know your child's every move on the internet. Children will download anything free. They know that they won't have to bother you about buying it for them. However, some of these items shouldn't be downloaded because of potential threats to your computer. If your child should download forbidden freebies, your computer is subject to being infected with spyware and malware. We know it is not easy to protect your child against all the dangers of the internet, and therefore we developed a family hub, with all relevant content regarding cyberbullying, cyber predators, posting private information, phishing, falling for scams, accidentally downloading malware, posts that come back to haunt a child later in life, and how is it with your child? Which of these behaviors do you mostly see in your child? Fatigue from late nights, poor school performance, depression, stress, unusually quiet, withdrawn, aggressive behavior, mental health issues, scars or bruises from self-harm, wears long sleeves to cover, highly secretive, uncontrollable crying, weight loss, weight gain, eating disorders, trying to grow up too fast, dress more adult, skimpy clothing in girls, argumentative, change in personality. The list can go on, and it's quite frightful, isn't it? How many of these resonate with what you see in your child? In our method, we give you the tools to deal with it. The safety of your kid is in your hands. Your kid deserves a safe, happy and energetic life. Imagine being able to have more confidence in your child's online safety that you just don't have right now. Imagine no fights, sabotage with your kids regarding mobile phone use, experience that it is possible to put the phone down. Imagine your family free themselves from an addiction to the digital world. If you constantly have discussions with your family regarding screen time, social media behavior, using their phone in bed, etc., all of these things can be remedied by following the OYP method with your family, and let us help them every day. Violence. Almost 90% of tweens and teens expressed or experienced violent subject matter thoughts. Sexting. 52% of teenage girls used sexting as a sexy present for their boyfriend. Self-harm, suicide. 35% of tweens and 54% of teens were involved in a self-harm, suicidal situation. Cyberbullying. 77% of tweens and 78% of teens experienced cyberbullying as a bully, victim, or witness. Sexual content. 70% of tweens and 85% of teens encountered nudity or content of a sexual nature. You can prevent all of those things if you want to. Your kids are happier, because they get better, more restful night's sleep. Your kids have improved attention and increased their ability to live in the present moment. Your kids become a good digital citizens, and they don't underestimate the dangers. Free access to a collection of ebooks, e-courses, videos, articles on parenting for parents of all types of teenagers decrease the risk of horrible life-changing events with your kids. Violence. Almost 90% of tweens and teens expressed or experienced violent subject matter thoughts. Sexting. 52% of teenage girls used sexting as a sexy present for their boyfriend. Self-harm, suicide. 35% of tweens and 54% of teens were involved in a self-harm, suicidal situation. Cyberbullying. 77% of tweens and 78% of teens experienced cyberbullying as a bully, victim, or witness. Sexual content. 70% of tweens and 85% of teens encountered nudity or content of a sexual nature. You can prevent all of those things if you want to. Your kids are happier, because they get better, more restful night's sleep. Your kids have improved attention and increased their ability to live in the present moment. Your kids become a good digital citizens and they don't underestimate the dangers. Free access to a collection of ebooks, e-courses, videos, articles on parenting for parents of all types of teenagers decrease the risk of horrible life-changing events with your kids. Click the link in the description below to get instant access to the OYP method today and keep your kids safe online without the usual fights, sabotage or workarounds. Thanks for watching.